break down everything that is going to go into this decision, what we should expect, and all of that. Let's get started here on Locked On Wildcats.
You are Locked On Wildcats, your daily podcast on the Arizona Wildcats, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks for keeping it Locked On Wildcats. I'm your host, Mike Luke. All right, we got a little bit of a shorter show today. Got a few issues here, but Carter Bryant is announcing tonight at 5 o'clock, and I expect him to choose the University of Arizona. Now, you could say, Mike, you thought that Ryan Nembhard would as well, and you would be correct. But I'm going to still go with my guns on this one. I think that Carter Bryant is going to be a University of Arizona Wildcat. Now, what does that mean exactly? First of all, it means a lot of different things, but let's talk about the choices first. It's Arizona and it's Louisville. Now, Louisville is interesting because they were one of the worst teams in all of basketball this past year, but you could also say that, you know what, it's I don't know if it's a blue blood program, but, it's a pretty solid program. And I think the thing about it too is that, you could see it. You could probably also get a little bit more of an NIL type situation, but I will say that I don't believe that he will be going there, although he would be able to go in there and he would be able to start immediately. But you know where else he can start immediately? At Arizona. And again, Tommy Lloyd has made him a priority recruit from day one. And the reason he's made him a priority recruit is because he's really, really good and he fits in exactly to what Arizona wants to do right here. Now, from a skill perspective, he's got everything. He's got the handle, he's got the pull-up, you name it, he's got it. Again, we're going to keep using the Jason Tatum comparison here because I think that's a pretty good comparison, and I like that comparison. And you know what? We're going to run with that one. But he's probably a one and done. But honestly, Arizona fans just need some good news at this point. I mean, let's be honest here. After everything that's happened, I think it's fair to say that we just need some good news, and I look for that. And I think that this should be a good day for Arizona. Now, if Arizona were to get him, what would that mean then? 2024, you need that to be a monster recruiting class. And not only do you need that to be a monster recruiting class, I think with a guy like a Jamari Phillips in there and a Carter Bryant, you're well on your way to having that monster recruiting class. But again, not going to count anything until not going to count our chickens until they're hatched. But again, I do expect him to become a Wildcat. And he would fit in very, very well with Jamari Phillips. Obviously, they're AAU teammates. They know what each other can do, and that is obviously a very good thing right there. Now, what would this mean then? First of all, it would mean that Tommy Lloyd can show some people that, yes, I have an idea about what I'm doing. Yes, maybe I missed out on some guys, but at the end of the day, I still know what I'm doing, and I think that's a good thing right there. And honestly, this kind of a fan base has been a little beaten down right now. I mean, I'm not really breaking any news right there. I'm just saying that this is a fan base that could use some really good news, and this would be the exact situation where good news would be there for Arizona. Now, I think with when it comes to Arizona, the one thing is that when it comes to Arizona, he's got to be able to get that. Now, one thing about it though, the strong people, what do they utilize? They utilize Built Bar. All right, check it out. Built Bar is made in Utah, and you know why it's made in Utah? Probably because it's very strong. Probably because it's for very, very strong people. They use that again. But the great thing about Built Bar is it tastes good, and not only does it taste good, it is something that when you leave the gym, you're excited about consuming. And That's where it's at, really. So, again, you can get it at your GNCs. You can get it at all of your different locations. Again, you name it, they got it. There's a reason that everybody's using Built Bar. There's a reason that all the big, strong people use Built Bar. It's because it's good. It tastes good. Check it out, Built Bar. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to talk about what this would mean for the 24-25 Arizona basketball roster then. All right, come back with us. You're listening to Locked On Wildcats. Thanks for keeping it locked on, Wildcats. I am your host, Mike Luke. All right, now, the 2024-25 Arizona basketball roster. Yes, we're jumping ahead there a little bit, but who cares? So on the wings, then, you would have KJ Lewis, who would be a sophomore at that point. I think KJ Lewis could make a nice little jump from his freshman to his sophomore year. Again, kid that's a top 60 recruit. I think that he's fairly underrated, to be honest with you. And not only do I think that he's a little underrated, I do believe that he can. He has the potential to be an NBA player, and that's the kind of guys that I want to see Tommy Lloyd get, because Tommy Lloyd, as we know, is a very good developer of talent. I think that has been shown time and time and time again that Tommy Lloyd knows what he's doing right there when it comes to bringing in talent. So there's that. So then you would have KJ Lewis, you would have Jamari Phillips, and you would have Carter Bryant. That's a nice, talented little wing trio right there. And heck, you could potentially have Pelle Larsson back at that point too, because he would still have 2 years left, a 24-year-old senior. Then also you could have Kylan Boswell is there as well. I look at Boswell. I think Boswell's a 3-year guy, and that's a good thing. I do believe that he is an NBA player, but I also don't believe that he's an NBA player that people are going to be salivating over. And I believe he could be an All-American as a sophomore or as a junior. So you could have a perimeter, theoretically, of Kylan Boswell, Pelle Larsson, Carter Bryant, KJ Lewis, and Jamari Phillips. How does that sound? Yes, that sounds good. We like the way that sounds. Then up front, who knows? But again, you could have Umar Ballo. You could have Henry Vasar. You could have Dylan Anderson, other guys as well. But again, we don't want to count these chickens before they're hatched. But as we've been just talking about, this is a massive, massive deal for Arizona basketball. Again, because I think that it shows people that Tommy Lloyd knows what he's doing, And not only does he know what he's doing, it shows that he can be the guy who basically looks at it and says that I can make this one work. And I think that not only can he make this one work, I think that there's every indication that he can recruit. Now, again, the transfer portal is another issue. I think with the transfer portal, I think it's fair to say that I think he still has a few things to work on. We're going to talk about that in just a second here. Keep it locked on, Wildcats. Thanks for keeping it locked on, Wildcats. I am your host, Mike Luke. Now, with the transfer portal, I think that Tommy Lloyd domestically is doing a pretty good job recruiting. I think that, again, you get Carter Bryant, you get Phillips, you get Lewis. That's good. And, I mean, heck, and I know he's not domestic, but Henry Vasar much the same. I do believe, though, that Lloyd still needs to figure out the transfer portal. And I do believe that the transfer portal is kind of the spot where all the really good teams, and you're seeing this with Gonzaga, you're seeing that everybody is utilizing it, and Arizona needs to be able to get in on that one as well. And there's a reason they need to get on it because, again, that's where you can get guys that are proven. They're not projections. But, again, that will be a podcast for another day. So hopefully we're here tomorrow talking about Carter Bryant becoming a University of Arizona Wildcat. I think that would alleviate a lot of concerns, and it's something that the Arizona fan base, I believe, deserves. All right. Now, again, a little bit of a shorter pod to have one or two of these per month, but we're going to take a break. But again, Carter Lewis deciding at 5:00 tonight between Carter Bryant choosing between Arizona and Louisville. I feel pretty comfortable that he is going to be an Arizona Wildcat. So again, make sure to check it out, and we will be talking about this Thursday morning as well. Have a great rest of your day. You have been listening to Locked On